The game between Notre Dame and Army, played at New York's Yankee Stadium in 1946, was one of the most anticipated of its time. World War II was over, and Army, winners of 25 in a row, was coming off back-to-back national championships. The war had interrupted many careers, including Frank Leahy's as head coach at Notre Dame. In the 3 years before Leahy went into the service, Army failed to score a single point against the Irish. In the 2 years Leahy was gone, Army won by a combined score of 107-0. However, 2 weeks after his discharge from the Navy in 1945, Leahy signed a 10-year contract with Notre Dame and was back on the sidelines for that showdown in '46. The November game was a sellout in June, and the interest at Notre Dame was at a fever pitch for months. Students began sending Army's head coach Red Blake postcards signed SPATNC as far back as springtime, and it wasn't until later Blake would learn SPATNC was an acronym for Society for the Prevention of Army's Third National Championship. In the game itself, the key for Notre Dame was containing Army's two great running backs, Felix "Doc" Blanchard, known as Mr. Inside, and Glenn Davis, Mr. Outside, and the Irish kept them at bay. Until Blanchard broke a run in the third quarter. He burst through the line and cut to the sideline upfield. No one could remember Blanchard ever being tackled in the open field one-on-one, but Johnny Lujack tackled Blanchard by the ankles at the Notre Dame 37. Neither team would threaten anymore the rest of the way, and the game ended in a 0-0 tie. One New York writer said the most publicized football game of all time was much ado about nothing to nothing. Both teams would go unbeaten the rest of the way, and Leahy's Irish would be the more impressive. At the end of the season, Notre Dame would rise to number 1 and be awarded the national championship. It was part of an incredible run, which became a 39-game unbeaten streak. Leahy's teams won 4 national championships and went undefeated 6 times in his 11 seasons. His all-time winning percentage is second only to Knute Rockne, but the pressures would take their toll. In January of 1954, Leahy decided he'd had enough and resigned as head coach at Notre Dame. During the '53 season, Leahy collapsed between halves of the game against Georgia Tech, and he was later quoted as saying he thought he was going to die. So much so, last rites of the Roman Catholic Church were actually administered at the time. After that, his health concerns continued to mount, and doctors told him another collapse could be fatal. Leahy left coaching at the age of 45 and would live another 19 years. Frank Leahy carried the considerable weight of Notre Dame football in spectacular fashion, earning his place right below Knute Rockne as the school's second truly great head coach.